weekend after the summer side.
Before creating Hazbin Hotel, Vivizipop went to the School of Visual Arts and graduated in 2014, and she majored in 2D traditional animation. And in 2016, she attended the Goblin Summer School in Paris, France. And amongst doing commissioned work and animations here or there with this most notable Fox 1, she worked as an animator for an online DreamWorks TV animated series, and later became a character designer on it. Along with that, we will note that this isn't, regarding Hazbin Hotel, isn't the first time she organized a lot of animators. And so with all of her past work, it was an eventuality that she would have her own animated series. And it's eventual now that we'll have to talk about some of the drama she had. Not getting too much into it, as most of the stuff was drawn when, well, she was a teenager, because everything we draw back then is something we're still proud of. Oof. And this is quick to note that she made an apology about it and already discussed it over on her Tumblr page. So moving along, let's take the river of Styx and dive on into the 9 circles of hell. That is Hazbin Hotel. Before we get into the critiques, there is a thing to note that there was a lot of animators and cleanup artists on this project, and their hard work won't go unnoticed as I talk about my favorite parts later in the video, which is now. The musical numbers were something I particularly liked, and special props to Amy Hurd amongst the other animators who worked on those specific sections. Originally in the script, I had a lot of critiques regarding animation in terms of being off-model or oddly animated. Then I realized the problem wasn't the animation per se, as it was actually the designs of the characters causing this.
Perhaps we can create an alternative way to change souls through redemption? Well, I think yes. So that's what this project aims to achieve. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm opening the first of its kind, a hotel that rehabilitates sinners.
In my opinion, the character designs are created without animation in mind, forgetting the fact that all of the main characters have the exact same body shape and color scheme. Nearly. They all have a lot of unnecessary details that the animators have to keep track of. From poker chips on someone's wings to special eye color things, let's do a rapid fire of how I would fix the character designs. Subtly. Charlie. Good design, but get rid of the curly hair on this side as it's too much to keep track of.
Fixed.
Faggy. Get rid of the X's and the striped leggings. And as noted on Twitter from Vivian herself, since the indication of the character designs are not an indication of how they died, yeah, we can get rid of these things.
Fixed.
Angel dust. Just keep the arms retracted. And yes, he can do this. It's in the pilot. And fix the eye.
Fixed.
Alistair. He honestly just looks like a background character with the only personality trait being his voice.
May I speak now?
You may.
Alistair, pleasure to be meeting you, sweetheart. Quite a pleasure.
No indication that he's a main character.
While we're at it, let's fix these characters too. Alright, let's take a look at the backgrounds now. With the main focus of this pilot being that hell is overpopulated, it's surprisingly empty. All exterior shots are vaguely filled with characters, while the inside has a jumbled mess of them. This could be because of the recent extinction that happened, but maybe there's lore outside of this pilot that I'm not reading, perhaps on the Wikipedia. I can't believe the pilot didn't do a good job of explaining the story, considering that most of it's actually exposition.
Decades ago, Alistair manifested.
You done? He looks like a strawberry pimp.
And so going back into this specific scene in the news station, you see everyone just standing around. And this is the note that most of them aren't even part of the crew, and they're not even part of the audience, as we did see an audience shot here. And to me, it looks like they're just there to fill in space when they could have just made a background of maybe some bleachers or like a little audience area. Doing this makes it feel cramped rather than feeling overpopulated, which are somehow two different things. And circling back to the backgrounds themselves, most of what you'll see in the background are exaggeratedly tall buildings with nothing more than Devil's Diner here or there. With little reference to hell as a concept, this could have been a great way to showcase gags and hints to literature featuring the titular fiery location. And what could have also added to the overpopulation aspect is perhaps homeless tents of people, since not everyone can afford living in hell, as well as maybe in shots like this, or this, you can have a blimp or airplane go by to make the place feel, you know, lived in. However, what is lived in is today's sponsor, Dashlane. With all the art things that I do, I'm always having trouble keeping track of passwords. And luckily, I found a simple and easy and effective way to do so. Dashlane. Signing up and downloading the desktop and Chrome app gives you shortcuts in everything you do online, such as logging in instantly, flying through forms, and breezing through checkouts. I think this is a very swell service to use. Solutions like Keychain and Chrome lock you into a single system, so your passwords and info are trapped in one place. And sign-in solutions like Login with Facebook can misuse your data because they make money from collecting it, selling it, and using it to annoy you with ads. Being ad-free, Dashlane does not collect your data and doesn't trick you into subscribing. There is no credit card required at sign-up, and it's always an ad-free product, as I just said in the previous sentence. With over 11+ million users in over 180 countries, if your socks are not knocked off yet, it's endorsed by a few of these companies, and me, not a company. And Dashlane is free to use on your first device, so go ahead and support my channel by downloading it using my link in the description box, and additionally get a free 30-day trial of the premium version. No credit card required at sign up. Nice, nice. Nice, nice, nice. And so, I'll see you on the other side of Dashlane Premium, and the other side of production. The most striking thing within this piece is the perceived lack of communication when it comes to the animation, as there is a lack of consistency when it comes to line quality, and some scenes actually being animated in 720p and being upscaled to 1080p. There are also low resolution and misaligned textures everywhere, and in some scenes there is incorrect blurring, which causes me to personally get out of the world of the cartoon and realize I'm watching a cartoon. And speaking of sound effects, even though I haven't mentioned it until now, oof. With the amount of sound effects it uses, Hazbin Hotel reminds me a lot of Johnny Test.
Cannibal cooking segment. You might be some royal big shot, but that doesn't mean shit to me.
However, above all else, the general audio production, recording and mixing, was wonderfully produced.
I have a dream. I'm here to tell about a wonderful, fantastic new hotel.
And not to specify any specific names, as everyone did a good job, each of the voices chosen by the voice actors and the voice actors chosen to play their role was quite well fit for the character. And unless you really listen closely, you can't really tell that they used different microphones.
What?
The radio demon is at the door.
What?
Who?
What should I do?
Well, don't let him in.
And in terms of video editing, it had a general good pace to it, apart from this scene. this scene.
And what can you do, my effeminate fellow?
I can suck your dick.
Ha! No.
Your loss.
Well, this just won't do.
In my opinion, with cartoon pilots that I like, they tend to follow an everyday adventure with the characters. Doing so, we get to know how a regular day with them would be and see how they would act with each other, assuming they already know each other. And making this a prequel, since it's not even a first episode, it's more of a backstory and exposition heavily episode, they somehow left out a lot of things. Starting with the big one, how would Charlie rehabilitate demons? And how would she send him up to heaven? It is referenced once in what Charlie is doing to help out Angel Dust.
Some broads are letting me stay rent-free if I play nice. You know, no fights, no pranks, no problematic language. Her words, not mine.
But if she supposedly was going to open the hotel the day of the announcement, how would she help them? How would she help all the people showing up? I mean, for an heir to the throne of hell, there doesn't seem to be too many workers that like to help her. Well, except for this guy driving the car. I suppose the main issue of the pilot I had could be that it felt like it was more so introducing characters rather than telling a story with them. I mean, an ensemble cast like this can work, but it might be better to introduce them over time, as shoving all of these characters into a 30-minute short really doesn't give them time to grow as, well, characters. However, saying all that, do I look forward to more Hazbin Hotel? With merchandise already out, a successfully viewed cartoon, and a Patreon, Vivi has a lot going on for her. And if you noticed at the very start of the pilot, you see she created a production studio, Spindle Horse, and reading up on her Patreon, the next thing they're gonna work on after Hazbin Hotel are animated shorts based on Zoophobia, a comic of hers that has been on hiatus for a little bit of time. But for now, if you want more of that fix, there is a prequel comic already out, and in it we discover a few things such as Angel Dust's backstory, and that these characters of hers actually look and work better in comic form. But if you want something animated, she does have a spin-off thing called Hell of a Boss, which is set in the same universe as Hazbin Hotel, and I guess we'll have to see how that turns out, I suppose. But am I looking forward to more Hazbin Hotel? Yeah, for a few reasons. Vivian has a great concept in her hands, and with the right team of people, she could have a fantastically revered series on the internet. And it is to note that, even after 2 years of waiting, she produced the product. We can see it. Over there. And although I was pretty critical in the review, I'd still highly suggest you go watch the cartoon and support the artists. If Vivian keeps moving forward and strives to improve as an artist and as a company, hey, I might as well stay where I am and check in to the Hazbin Hotel.